I mean, yeah. That's
oh my god, look at those ITBs.
They got the good ice. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Boom! Welcome back to another video. In this video, do you guys see my lovely S54? It is Wednesday today, as me and Jude film on Wednesdays and everything. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Anyways, this morning I stopped at a local machine shop, ICS Machining. They do like a lot of racing engines and shit like that, and I talked to him, and it's some old guy that runs it and does all the machine work. And I told him I had an S54, and he's like, oh yeah, well, I've done a couple of those engines. And that was weird, because most of the time you call machine shops and you're like, yo, I have an S54, or like any M engine, like a real like M engine, like S54, S65, Euro S50, something like that. They're like, we don't really work on them. Like we aren't gonna touch that engine. These dudes know what the fuck they're doing with them. So in this video, we're gonna be stripping down this engine. I'm gonna show you guys how to strip down your S54. The plan is for this is we're going to do head gasket, run over all the timing stuff, rebuild the Vanos, do the rod bearings. We're gonna take this all off, and then we're just gonna start down to 10. Oh man, dude, look at that S54. Dude, ITBs make me so happy. There is nothing in the world that makes me happier than individual throttle bodies. Like, just the sound these fuckers make. Oh, it's so fucking... Oil and coolant's gonna go everywhere.
Dude, I tore down a whole Chevy 350 block,
dude,
and there was
no.
not even a single drop of nothing. You guys know that Julian Dinino actually only owns one Land Rover shirt, and that he saves up all of the rest of his money for car parts?
Now, I suspect, looking at this engine, and you guys can see all the oil leaks, this is the highest point where it was leaking. You guys can see right along there, and these are the caps for the Vanos pistons, and there's O-rings there. I suspect those O-rings are leaking. So we're gonna change those O-rings. Dude, tonight, after we get this engine down and make a list on what it needs, I'm just gonna order everything. First things first, to take the Vanos off, you have to take the Vanos solenoid off. That's this thing. This is like a big box with a bunch of solenoids in it that fire and shoot oil in it, controlling where the oil goes into the Vanos, and then this is like an electronic solenoid box, and it shoots up solenoids and they control the oil flow. So it's bolted on through these Allen bolts up here. So you just want to crack it loose. The first video I did on this engine, going over it and trying to figure out what was wrong, we figured out that the engine's actually out of time. So many used S54s are out of time because people go to do the Vanos and they fuck up doing the Vanos because it's kind of like a bit of a bitch to get it together. It's just time consuming and, you know, lining everything up, which I'll actually show you guys how to get the Vanos in what's called the Vanos sweet spot. The engine's in top dead center. Cylinder 1 is all the way up. If you guys look and see, the two front facing lobes are pointed to each other. This is where the cam blocks go, and this is supposed to be pointing straight up, and it's not. So the engine's off like a tooth or two. I think somebody did this Vanos before, and that's how it got messed up. But these bolts that I'm removing right now are a bit loose. And I've taken a Vanos apart before, and I've never had the bolts be this loose. Oh, fuck, that was tight. Now, this is the oil supply line for the Vanos. This is the oil accumulator down here for the Vanos. I'm gonna replace this line with, I think it's Bison or whatever that company is called, their kit, and it's actually a braided line because a lot of times these will actually crack and break. Jude, did you know that oil pump in this Vanos at idle makes 1400 PSI of oil pressure? If this engine was a person, I wouldn't want to fuck with it. Like, this is that hardcore, like you know who David Goggins is? Yeah, I know who David Goggins is. This is the David Goggins of engines. I don't think
David Goggins revs out to like 8.5 fast.
He does.
I don't think he does though.
He revs hard. He's got that dog in him.
Gotcha.
Oh,
I really wish I was filming.
You just missed that. So, this is the Vanos solenoid. These are the 4 solenoids in here that shoot up and squirt oil and everything. This is the Vanos brick. Like this part, if it's bad or malfunctioning, this thing just isn't gonna make power. S54s make all the power in the head. We have 3 more 5mm Allens on the bottom. We're gonna crack loose. That actually holds the Vanos in itself. Crack those loose.
You're just gonna crack them loose, don't take them out?
Well, I'm gonna go get electric tools.
Oh, okay.
And then there's 2 10s up top. Like, look at that. Oh, that's gross. So I got everything off the Vanos. The Vanos actually should start to pull off right now. And then once we get it off a certain point, then we have to unbolt the actual like helical gear thingies off in there.
Ooh.
Oh!
Oh,
Oh,
God.
she just
used yourself.
Oh, man! Please tell me you got that.
I think I did.
In there. Bingo. Vanos is off. If you guys see in there, there's a 7mm and an 11mm, and it's actually reverse thread. So it's like you're gonna tighten it to pull the hub off. When you're loosening those things, as soon as those things are loose, your Vanos can fall off. So I take the real long bolts that were holding the Vanos solenoid in, and I actually just go ahead and thread it in there. So that way you can pull the Vanos off all the way and disconnect it without it dropping on the floor and you causing yourself a lot of money in damages. Yeah, that's 7, and this is, oh wait, this is 10. So it's actually a 7mm and a 10mm. So that rotates freely in there. You're gonna get that on. And it's gonna be like you're putting it on because they are reverse thread. And we're gonna start to spin that thing off. And as we spin that thing off, you can see the Vanos actually start to come off. Pro BMW racing driver, engine builder, and S54 God tip. When you're taking all of this off, a good thing to do is have some zip ties, because all this is gonna there's gonna be like a plate, washer, plate, like a spring thing. And best thing to do, just put them all in order, zip tie them together. Crack these loose. And these bolts are getting replaced to the updated bolts. Hub comes off, and then sometimes these discs can be a bit of a bitch, and then that gets keywayed into there, as you guys can see. This is another S54 common failure point. These bolts right here are actually known to break, and when they break, that's bad, because that's holding your cam in place. All right, breaking. There was not a lot of tension.
You're gonna say it's...
All right, guys, we're gonna crack these loose. I'm gonna pay attention. I was gonna buzz these off with an impact, but I'm gonna pay attention if any of them were loose, which they all feel pretty good, and they are the 8.8 grade bolts. All right, we're gonna pull this off. This is nerve-wracking. I'm gonna throw this together, how it was, and then I'm gonna take my zip tie. I'm gonna throw a zip tie through that, and everything is left in order. Now I know where everything goes, and everything's gonna stay together. All right, guys, question is this piece broken? It's not. Weird. So many times this piece breaks, and it's really common. Dude, you see how worn in that is?
Yeah.
This still is getting replaced. I'm gonna replace this with the Bison, whatever the fuck it's called. Like, I'm pretty sure I could probably just snap this thing right now. So there's a process to taking the cams out. They're an 11mm bolt, and the most important thing to do with these things is to go very slow and quarter turn at a time, because these cams are actually hollow, and if you don't have the right tool that holds them down, which I don't, you have to like crack them a little bit at a time, because if you do one and you kind of have one valve spring pushing up and the rest of them isn't being held down, it'll actually snap the cam in half. Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna have Jude put the camera down, and then we're gonna pick it up after, like, once we're taking the cams off, because this is pretty time consuming. So I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to remove these guys like completely off, because as you can see, cylinder 1, both the cams don't have any tension on them. So we're just gonna take this guy completely off. I'm gonna get everything cracked loose, and then I'm gonna pick the camera back up. The cam's out. Incredible. If you guys actually want to see me pull the cams out, we filmed a TikTok on that, so go follow my TikTok. Take the head off. This guy needs to come out. And what I mean by this guy, I'm talking about the front cam lobes. So right here, we're gonna crack these loose.
I don't want it to be too big, you know?
I have the head bolts cracked loose because I just cracked the head bolts loose. You guys don't need to know how to crack head bolts loose. Head is cracked loose. I went to take the water pump pulley off, and I realized there's a brand new water pump on this engine. And I just spent $400 on a brand new water pump.
Mega mind over here.
Mega mind. I like that. I like that. So we're gonna pull the water pipe off on the side, and then the thermostat housing, and then the water pump. Leave the ITBs on, and then we're going to take the head off. This is some good head. Like, you're getting this, like, if you're getting an S54 level head, that's good head.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
All right, guys, I'm pulling off the throttle actuator right now. Oh, you cocksucker. Speaking of, this is a good point to say, if you guys are watching the video and you guys aren't subscribed, we're gonna have issues, big issues. I want you to make that subscribe button your bitch. Show that subscribe button what's up. As I pull off, oh, fuck me.
Well, at least you got the saran wrap. This boy.
All right, taking this water pipe off. I'm pulling off the bolt that holds the timing chain tensioner, the top timing chain tensioner up here. So we're gonna pull this off. I can't wait for the video where we put this engine back together and we're putting all new clean parts on it. I'll title it S54 Transformation, Must See Now. So, took the head off, and I'm really glad I'm doing this because we found an issue. Right here, head gasket is blown apart. Cylinder 1 and 2, completely misfired. If you guys see, this piston is real clean here, cylinder number 1. That's because there was water going into that during combustion, and that water was like misting and everything, so it was actually almost acting like it was cleaning it. Kind of cool. Which, if you guys don't know, head gaskets being a problem on an S54, like that it was, it's really common because look how thin and look how skinny that head gasket is. There's about 3.5 millimeters of space there. I'm so glad I decided to pull the head, because if I didn't do this, I'd be putting this engine in the car and we'd be wondering what the fuck was going on with it. So there we go, that's why the thing wasn't making the power it should. The engine was A, out of time, and B, the head gasket was blown. Yeah, so you guys can see right in there, that clean spot where the thing was cross-firing. Combustion was passing over from this cylinder onto this cylinder. And you can see how much cleaner this cylinder is, or this cylinder is than this cylinder, because there was water going into there, and when water goes into it, it missed and it actually cleans the cylinder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, got the head off, everything disassembled. We found a blown head gasket. That being said, I'm really excited that I decided to pull the trigger on pulling the head and just going over the entire engine, because I would have been kicking myself in the ass if I threw this engine in and then started it and then realized, why the hell is it running weird? Why is it drinking coolant? Anyways, that's the story on this thing. I'm excited to get it cleaned up. That's gonna be a good video, Jude, of us painting everything, and everything's gonna be real nice and new and Like I'll do like a split screen on the thumbnail and it'll be like, oh, S54, look at me, blah, 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 S54 transformation. Let's shift your attention over here. As I said, we got the head off. All the hardware is in a bag. I'm dropping the cylinder head off tomorrow morning. I'm gonna have Bob at ICS machine go over everything, vacuum check the valves. If anything has a problem, I'm gonna be like, do it, replace it, get it done properly. So, dude, I'm super excited to get the head back, and it's gonna look all brand new, all clean. All this shit's gonna be all perfectly clean. Everything's gonna be hot tanked. Really excited about that, guys. I can't tell you how stoked I am. The S54 E30 things. Next video, me and Jude are gonna go over the block, get the block ready, get it all cleaned up, and make it all pretty. We might have the head back by next video. S54, fun times, fun things. Good engine. Good engine. S54. Good. Yay. This thing's gonna fucking rip. As you guys know, at the beginning of the last video, I asked you for a Q&A on questions and everything. And a lot of you guys commented on last video asking Q&A questions, and I'm gonna go over questions in previous video. So me and Jude are gonna run over a Q&A. We'll go to that now. Me and Jude are gonna go over the Q&A that you guys dropped in the last video. This is like the first time everybody has seen Jude like in his full glory. His hat, that's a sick hat.
My favorite hat, actually.
That's a fucking sick hat.
Oh, we also have a new filmer behind
Oh yeah, Brandon, show yourself. This kid kills on short form. Go check his TikTok out. Anyways.
At retro.fe2.
Oh. I'll get you. So, last video. Joseph White asked. He said, Q&A. How did you and Jude link and decided to start a page? That's a good question. So, if you guys don't know, me and Jude actually like known each other since we were in diapers. Jude literally lives 2 houses down, like, not 2, but like.
I could run to his house in under a minute.
Yeah, he could run to my house in under a minute. Yeah. He's literally like, I literally hear him drive past in his E46 every single day, yada yada yada. But me and Jude went to preschool together. Elementary school, high school. Yeah, we went to school together ever since we were in diapers, and we would run around, and like, this kid had real long hair. I was super weird, and like, I started getting into BMWs when I was 14. That's when I bought my E30, and I always had all these different BMWs parked up on the driveway, and this kid would be driving past my house every single day, and he'd be like, yo, what the fuck's going on, man? Like, what? And you know, I started to show him how shit works and how you just work the system, and then he got an E46, and 2 years ago, we completely rebuilt his E46 in his garage, and we got to be pretty good friends over that. But yeah, that's how we got started, and we're just gonna keep on pumping out sick content. Because we're bad motherfuckers. Like I said, and this is gonna be in relation, like you guys will understand, and hopefully a couple months from now or a year from now, we're gonna be so good, we're just gonna be undeniable. And I want you guys to remember that word. Undeniable. Undeniable. Remember that word. Alex, he has an E30 page. He's a real cool guy. He has an M62 in his E30. Everybody go watch him. He's just another E30 page like me, super cool guy. But he said, when are you coming to California so we can film together? Which I'd love to do. I'd love to go out to California, but that's down the road. Definitely, like, I want to make some collabs with that guy and do some shit, because I think that would be fucking dope. Everyone, I got some comments, what trans am I running for this car? I'm just gonna be running a typical ZF 5-speed on the S54 with a 391 rear differential. And if you guys know your gearings and know all your BMW diffs and gearboxes, a ZF 5-speed with a 391 is going to fucking scream, and the gears are gonna be insanely short. So with this power and this light of car and the short gears, you're gonna be like, wah, bah, bah, and it's gonna be retarded. Julian, ironically, shout out Julian, he commented, I can't wait till this guy hits a mil.
Yeah,
shout out to Julian. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. We were doing S54 things today. I got my cams. I'm like, yo, what's up, baby? I'm not even telling you that I said it, because I'm always saying it. Anyways, guys, dream so big, it scares you. Peace out, and we'll see you in the next one.